now become his life. And the event that he mentioned all those years ago is happening right here, right now, and you guys are part of it. He dedicates any spare minute he has to aim high, and he truly tries to live up to its name. He really does try and help others achieve, he does try and inspire, and he does try and motivate them. Always thinking of new initiatives and trying to make sure our students and families get the best we can possibly provide. He takes a personal interest in every single student, even though it's grown over the years to hundreds of them, and every single staff member as well. Aim High for him is more than just a job or a business, it's a family, and it's truly personal. So please give a very big warm welcome to our very own Mr. Arif Mohammed.
Thank you. That was not the introduction I was expecting, and now you're going to judge me on. You probably think I always look so polished and I can't put my socks in the right place. It is true, I'm not going to deny that. But let me just get this. I'm probably not going to use it, but it just gives me some sort of security. What can I say? Thank you so much for attending, everybody. It's a special moment for myself, I'll be honest, for selfish reasons, but more importantly, it is a very special moment for our students, our teachers, and all the community, all the people that we work with. Whether you're a parent or whether you are just a part of the community that wants to come and just find out about what Aim High does. So thank you so much for coming. A special thanks has to go to obviously Human Drama again. Thank you, Mark Conley, for arranging all this. We've got our High Sheriff, Dr. O'Neill over here. Thank you so much for attending. The Deputy Mayor, the Mayoress, Mujahid Khan, for bringing back down to reality every so often. Professor Fazma Elahi, who's going to be one of our inspirational guest speakers today. And there's so many other people that I can't mention everybody. And if I haven't mentioned you, my apologies. But anyway, that aside, I'm going to get cracking. What I wanted to do is, I wanted to kind of share my journey of Aim High, where it started and where it has come to now. The reason why I wanted to do that and obviously have this event is there will be something that young people can take out of this. Whether it's just a little nugget or whether it's some sort of inspiration or anything, what I want you to do is, out of this whole event, I want you to take something, just that one thing, and I want you to apply it. So what I'm going to do is, I know we all like stories, I'm going to kind of give you a story of how Aim High came about. Are we all okay with this?
Yeah? Come on, guys. I know some of us have traveled far. By the way, special mention, if you're I've not met yet, but Mary, you've traveled from Kent. We've got somebody who's come from Paris. We've got some people from Bradford. We've got some people from Manchester. There's so many other towns, Rochdale. I know that's a town in itself, but we've got so many people from all over the place. So thank you, by the way, for traveling and making the effort. So what I want to do is, I'm gonna rewind back to when I was a student. When I was a student, like so many of you here, I'll go back to when I was in about year 9, year 10. Now, when I was in school, I was not a very bright student, if you want to think of it that way. I was in the lower sets, the medium sets, and if you know, some schools still do this, but they have the bright side and. Shouldn't say this, but the not so bright side. I was on the other side, the part where we would struggle. So I was following a different trajectory. I wasn't going into the academic route. I was going to be doing more vocational courses. So my teachers would predict me for lower grades, like grade C's, D's, even E's. But when year 10 came, I realized that I need to really push myself. And that's when I put a lot more effort in. And at the time I was, in year 10, I was still helping my dad in our corner shop. We have a corner shop, those of you that know Glodwick. And I was still helping him there in the evenings. And I would practice my sums on the back of leaflets and, try to improve my grades as much as I can. But anyway, fast forward, come GCSE time, I managed to surprise most of my teachers. I got one of the best grades in the school. And it wasn't a fancy school we went to, it was a very standard, comprehensive school, and I managed to get 5 A's and 4 B's. And at that time, that was a pretty good result. It kind of got me to the first top 5 in the whole school. And we were surprised. I remember my late father, he was even more surprised because I didn't apply for academic colleges like Oldham Sixth Form. I was going to go through the vocational route, do engineering at Oldham College, and then I managed to get convinced to go into Sixth Form College. Are you all with me? Yeah, kids? Right, so I went to Sixth Form College and I had another hurdle. The only way I could do what I wanted, which was something to do with engineering, was I needed maths. And now maths was the worst subject for me. And those of you that do know, I have something called dyscalculia. Now, if you don't know what that means, that is like the dyslexic version of maths. So that was a struggle for me, but nonetheless, I had to do A-level maths, otherwise I wouldn't have got into college, into uni. I managed to kind of convince the enrollment teachers that, you know what, I'll prove you wrong, I'll get the grades. And, you know, first year, I didn't get the grades, all E's. But then I persevered, and then I managed to get, you know, for A-levels, I got all 4 A's across the board, and including maths. So then that surprised me even more. Then I realized that, yeah, actually, if I just work hard, I can get the result. So I continued to do that. Then I went to Manchester University, did aerospace engineering. Who knows what aerospace engineering is? Actually, let me open it out to you. Who knows? Hands up, kids. Who knows what aerospace engineering is? Come on. Aerospace engineering? I'm going to pick on someone. Jazia. Aerospace engineering. What do you think it is? Something to do with flying. Good. Jitson, what do you think it is? Building planes, yeah, good, you're both there. So it's to do with like designing aeroplanes, even rockets, missiles. So it's literally the hardest thing you could ever think of. And I just thought I'm going to go for it because it was something different. But most importantly, it had a lot of maths in it. And like I said, I hated maths. It was the worst thing I could do, but it was a challenge. And I thought, you know, I've come this far, I can persevere and get through it. Again, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. After a few years, in my 3rd year, penultimate year, it was a 4-year course. Unfortunately, my father passed away at a very young age. He was only 49. And at that time, I was helping him run the family shop. It's a shop in Glodick, corner shop. Some of you will be aware of it. It's Greenhill Food Store. And at that time, I would normally go to uni, come back, help him in the shop. It was just a one-man team for my dad. But when he died, I decided that, no, I want to continue his legacy. I want to keep the shop, despite my father telling me not to. He said, look, if I'm gone, you focus on your studies. But I kind of thought, no, I'm going to continue. I remember the days I would go to uni, I would set off, come back in the evening and open the shop, keep the shop open till about 10, 11 o'clock, serve customers, do my revision on the back of leaflets. And yeah, it was a constant cycle. But by the end of it, I managed to get my degree. I got a very good score for my, and earned my degree. And then that's when the dilemma came. Sorry, it was a bit of a build-up, wasn't it? But the dilemma came then. So aerospace engineering, there's not many engineering places in Oldham at the moment, or there weren't at the time. Most of the jobs were either down south or abroad. And I really wanted to go abroad. But the challenge I faced was, and those of you in Asian families will know, being the only son in the family, you kind of have a bit more of a responsibility. You have to look after my 3 sisters, my mom, more importantly, my shop, my father's legacy. So I decided at that moment I needed to pivot. What I mean by pivot is I needed to change directions, but I wasn't 100% sure if that direction was going to be right. But I did know at the time that if I buy myself 1 more year, do a teaching qualification, a PGCE, and see how it goes, just to see if I can settle the shop down. And during that time, I was also coaching karate. My sensei, Irfan Ansari, he helped me earn my 2 black belts. but also he made me into a karate coach as well. And by the way, give him a round of applause because this man is inspirational for me anyway. Sensei, thank you. With Sensei, like he has taught me a lot of things, etiquette, discipline. There's so many things he's taught me to make me be the person I am. But anyway, I'm not going to digress. I'm going to come back. So I did a PGCE in maths. It's a 1-year course where you learn to teach maths. And I wanted to specialize in secondary school because by that time I was thinking to myself, you know what, maybe I could inspire people similar to me, people that were similar in a similar situation to me who maybe didn't really aim high, didn't have the aspirations but had the potential. So that's why I went into teaching. And whilst I was teaching, at the back of the shop on Sickle Street in Glodwick, in the back of the shop, we had a butcher area. It wasn't being used because after my dad died, we didn't really sell any meat. So the butcher area, I decided, let's do something with it. I remember speaking to my mum, she's here now, thank you. My mum's here, put your hands up, please. That's my mum. Thank you. And I'll mention, why she's such an inspiration and, such an important part in Aim High. When we were, at the time, we decided we need to do something with that space. And I was into teaching. And thought, let me do this. Let me start teaching kids in Oldham, in Glodwick, where the aspirations were very low. And I know there's so many students that were super clever. And I mean like top set quality students. But their aspirations were low. They didn't have any direction. So what we did is, and again, my mom had a golden bangle. When you get for your weddings, Asian weddings, you get like golden bangles. And we didn't have much money at the time because I was still a student, just about scraping through, selling stuff in the shop. She decided to sell that, and we managed to generate about £5,000, which was a lot of money. And we thought we're gonna do that place up, make it into a makeshift classroom. So we cladded all the walls out with roof cladding and got rid of all the blood stains and made it into a makeshift classroom. I actually remember taking a table from a previous school and balancing it on top of baked beans tins, wrapping it in duct tape just to get the height, and we started teaching kids. It was kind of forced teaching because I literally grabbed these kids off the streets who were messing around. And actually, we've got a parent here. He's not here. I knew he wasn't going to come. But Khalida, put your hand up. One of her sons, Naim, he was one of the students, and he was naughty on the streets. I'm sure she won't mind me saying that. So I got him in, started teaching him, and a few other kids, and I called their parents. I said, "Look, your kids are working. How amazing is this?" And then, initially started off voluntarily, and that's when I realized, actually, I could make this into a business as well. So we got it into a business. I started charging people, and it slowly grew from there. 1 student, 2 students, 3 students. Then we had people coming from different towns. And then it just started to grow. Then we went on top of the shop. So where we used to live before we moved out was on top of the shop, a flat, 2-bedroom flat. I just converted the whole of that into a classroom. And then we started teaching. In fact, are there any pictures there? Okay, there you go. There's one, that was the initial classroom. It didn't have the floor, that was quite recent. That's Naim there, that's Naim. That's Race, I'm not sure if he's here yet, but these are all grown-up kids. They're twice the size of me. That's my mom. Now, I would delegate her the task of, Mom, all you need to do is listen to the student read. That's it, that's your task, listen, and just correct him. Now, and then whilst I was teaching the other kids like complex maths problems and integration and differentiation, I would come back and see her snoring. She would fall asleep. But anyway, that's something that I remember very vividly. But it was, she was always there. My little sister would help. So it was just a makeshift business, and it grew from there. We went upstairs. That's the classroom how it looked. Then we moved to a new location in Chadderton, and then so many things came out of that as well. We eventually had a premises in Hyde, Rochdale, and it just kept growing. And what I felt was that I could actually make that difference this way. And by the way, I was still going to school, I was still teaching full time, and I have been doing for over 12 years at the Radcliffe School, where I was getting very good results and making a difference to a lot of people. But I just felt it wasn't enough. I wanted to make more of an impact and enable students to really aim high and raise their aspirations. And that's when, I thought, just last year I decided I'm going to throw the towel in and I'm going to go all in with Aim High so we can help students achieve their potential. But anyway, business is going well, we've grown, and then guess what came? Everyone should know this. Something happened that changed the world. What happened? What? COVID, pandemic. The pandemic came along, and just like many businesses, many schools, everything just closed. Like within a day, I remember shutting for the first time. I actually remember, this is quite sad, I actually cried because I thought, it's we've put so much effort in, and all these kids, what do they do now? None of them wanted to go online. We just closed the business and we thought, I'll just figure out what to do. So 1-2 days went, and then I decided, no, we can't let this opportunity pass. And I thought of it as an opportunity, because that's when the second pivot came. The pivot was, how can we make this and change directions and make it work to our advantage? And that's when, I invested a lot in myself, teaching myself, marketing, sales, etc. And I decided to go online. And during COVID, we started to grow online, and I was finding that we were helping kids from all over the country, whether it's Kent, whether it's Scotland, whether it's locally in Oldham, we were making a difference, and a lot of the kids were actually getting fantastic results. You'll see some of the interviews at some point with some of the students. And and ever since, it's just been growing. Now we want to get to over 1,000 students that we want to help. We want to help at least 1,000 students each week. And we just want it to grow. So what I'm trying to say is, I've tried to do the speech as quick as I could, but I know I've missed a lot of things out. What I want our students to realize from this little story is that sometimes life will throw you like curved balls, things that you don't expect. You might think, I wanted to do medicine. I ended up not doing medicine, I did something else. It's not a bad thing. As long as you can be you can be the best at whatever profession you want, you will get to your destination. So don't worry if things don't go the way you planned, because there's always loads of opportunities out there for growth. And ever since, not only intuition, we've helped loads of kids out there. This is ignore the bit where it says fancy a date with a bachelor. I don't know why it says that. I think it's a different article. But this one, I was quite a bachelor by then. Anyway, back then I wasn't married, so it was okay. I did a TV show. Again, I helped more people across the UK and internationally. It opened so many doors just by having that little hiccup in life. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, always aim high. Always try your best, and if things don't go to plan, remember there's always a bigger plan in the future. And I just a couple of other slides I'll quickly show you. Are there any others? Hello? Next slide. So there's a few others. We've taken a lot of kids to Bangladesh. Looks like Bangladesh, but across, with our Beyond the Classroom event, where we've shown them what's out there other than Oldham, and you'll be surprised. I put a picture of a sheep there. A lot of students that we've worked with have never seen a sheep before. Yeah? So it's just opening up those doors for them. It's not just about the maths, English, and science. We wanted to widen their horizons, and then these are pictures from schools in Bangladesh. I was fortunate enough to go and train a whole school of teachers to teach them how to use our methodology, our 4-step methodology, in their schools to get the results, to inspire their kids, and they've done really well. This was actually from a Rohingya camp, a refugee camp, and down this is one of our Anisa, who's one of our online teachers in primary. She was teaching 3 classes, 30 students each, in Bangladesh whilst in the UK. So this is the sort of impact we've been having over the years, and it's all down to also all the trust that a lot of parents put into us. So I just wanted to say thank you, and that is the journey of Aim High. I did want to say other things, but I've lost my trail of thoughts. But that's the journey of Aim High, and I just again want to say thank you so much for all being here and celebrating the success of our students, and we will be giving out awards later on. So thank you very much for that. Can I do a selfie, guys? Those of you know me, I like giving my selfies. So all you're going to do is you're going to smile. Actually, let's make it a bit more fun. Can you all stand up? Yeah, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up. Jiggle about a little bit. Right, okay, we're gonna shout aim high, and then I want to get a selfie. The reason is because I like selfies. Okay, 3, 2, 1, say aim high. Aim high. Oh no, that wasn't good enough. Again, one more time. Say aim high as loud as you can. 3, 2, 1. Aim high. Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay, I can't coordinate very well, but thank you very much, guys.
All right, guys, thanks very much for that inspirational speech, and honestly, it's amazing. And as you have probably heard, it's it's amazing, and everybody who's helped throughout the journey from beginning, we're just super grateful to them. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to have this event, is to kind of mark that achievement, and kind of show how far it's come and how much we have achieved with Aim High Tuition. Now, we have the next bit. We are running a bit on the behind schedule, so I'm going to try and keep us on track. We have a student spotlight. So Sarah Nazir is one of our ex-Aim High students. She's going to be coming on stage. Come on, Sarah, don't be shy. And Mr. Mohit's going to be doing a kind of interview with Sarah just to get an idea of kind of her journey through Aim High. She's now at the other end of it. And she is a former head girl at her school, and she's currently a third-year medical student at London King's College. And we will be just doing a quick discussion and a Q&A session. By the way, we do want it to be beneficial for all the parents and the students here. If anybody has any questions, you can kind of put your hand up, and if we've got a chance, we will. We can ask. Also, at the end, when you're networking with any of the speakers, with Sarah, with anybody, feel free to kind of approach them and ask any questions and things like that. So we will give Sarah, please, a big welcome, and thank you so much.
Okay, we've only got one mic, so it's going to be a bit difficult. Sarah.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I'm a third year medical student, as mentioned. It's third year because I took a gap year in between as well. And I'm just really happy to be here. It's nice to come full circle.
So Sarah, I know you've just told us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like, for example, maybe about your time at Aim High, maybe about what your aspirations were when you were young and what you're doing now, just so that hopefully we can inspire some of our youngsters over here as well.
Okay, so I was born in this really small village in Punjab back in 2002. So that's in Pakistan, Lahore. In 2010, my family moved over here. And during that time, I knew hardly any English. I remember the only word I really knew was computer, but I did not know how to use a computer. So it was a bit of a challenge to adapt to Oldham and the UK overall. But I think what that taught me was the power of asking for help. And I came here not knowing how to speak English, but by the end of my primary school education, I scored the highest results that school had ever seen. And I think that came mostly from being sat down by people who were willing to listen and to help me with my maths sums and to help me to learn to read English. And by a lot of support from home. And I think all those things came together to really help me to be, I think, like a student that really wanted to do above and beyond. So after primary school, I went to Radcliffe, which was the same school that Mr. Mohit taught at for, I think, a decade at least. And during that time, I worked really hard. I had really lovely teachers, but I think what happened was a little bit of ego got in the way. I think once you're used to people telling you you're really good at things, you get a bit complacent. And I think all the students in the crowd should really listen out for that. You're only as good as you make yourself out to be. And as hard as you push yourself. And I think around year 10, I stopped doing that so efficiently. I remember just being a bit nervous and a bit anxious and a bit stressed about all the work that was, being given to me. And I didn't really feel good enough doing it on my own anymore. And I think the most important thing I did at that point was ask for help. And I think I came to the right place. I came to Aim High with the recommendations of, trusted individuals. And I think what Aim High did for me was some of the most life-changing work. It was enough to go to school and it was enough to put in my own time. But I think sometimes you just need someone to tell you you're doing good. You can sit down and you can do this thing right in front of me, and that is good. And you can go away. and that is fine, and you don't have to worry about it as much. And I think what Aim High did for me was section my time in a much more livelier way. And I made a lot of friends, and I made obviously some good acquaintances as well. And I'm just really glad to be back here and talking to you guys. If you've got any questions at the end, please feel to come, approach me, please.
This doesn't have to be a Q&A. You just said everything. So that's good. No, that's good. What are your aspirations or goals for the future?
I'm a bit motivated by you, which is... I'm a third-year medical student at the moment. I don't really know what specialty I'm going to pursue, but one thing I know I'm really certain about is that I want to give back to the community that helped raise me. That includes this town, that includes Manchester, that includes the local authority as well, that includes the town I was born in back in Pakistan as well. I think you have a responsibility to give back to the people that have brought you where you are. I think that's really important. No matter how far you go, you have to remember where you came from. And I think a lot of your success has to be tied to that place. You never really leave where you came from, I think. So what I'm really motivated to do after I graduate is go into public policy and education as well. I think just to inspire and push people in the right direction, even though when they don't know what they want to do or where they want to go, it's always just a kind, good thing to put out into the world. And that's something I'm really a big fan of.
Thank you. And we'll give you one more question. What's your advice to everyone here to unlock their potential as young people?
This bit was important, so I even wrote it down, so you know it's serious. It doesn't matter what you do. It matters how you do it and what you learn from it. It's where you take that learning. I think you need a motto to keep you pushing, and I think mine at the moment, and I think has been for a while, is to see the world good, and that is the way it will be so. For the most part, things aren't going to pan out the way you want them to. You just don't know enough about the world. There's too many things happening at the same time. You can't touch everything you want to. But you do things with the zeal and the passion that is required of you as an individual, as a person in the community. And you march out into the world and you say repeatedly, I am here, I want the world to be good, and I will spend my life making it that way. And that's, I think, what it is. Intentions. Keep your intentions good. See the world good, and that's how you'll make it.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And yeah, you know what? That deserves another round of applause. Let's go. Thank you so much. You know what? I'll get Taslima to introduce the next special guest.
Thanks, Sarah. Honestly, amazing speech, and well done on all your achievements. And just the message you said at the end, just like so genuine, especially in the world we live in right now. I think just take away that last line she said, to just put out some good into the world and just hope for the best and try your best to make it a better place, really. Right, so next we have our keynote speaker. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak at this event, and it's an honour to have you here. Just before I let her take the stage, I just want to do a quick and short introduction. So we have Professor Basma Elahi. She's a professor at the University of Chester. She's passionate about adult education, beginning with lecturing roles at Teesside and Central Lancashire universities. With 9 years in senior management at Chester, including 2 terms as head of department, Professor Basma Elahi now focuses on teaching nutrition and research to health and social care students. Their research, which addresses public health issues internationally, is complemented by workshops in Africa with the African Nutrition Society and active support for community events that promote educational achievements for young people. So please, a big round of applause and a warm welcome to Professor Basma Elahi.
Good evening, everyone. Great thing about wearing glasses as you get older, you can't see the audience, you're all a blur to me. But welcome all of you, young and old, esteemed colleagues and friends. It is a delight to be here. This is very unusual. This is right out of my comfort zone in terms of what I normally do. So I'm going to give it my best and hope that I can take you on this journey with me. And Muzz asked me to really just to address you to talk about my journey as a child growing up in the UK. But it all started from very humble beginnings. My parents were not educated. They were born in Pakistan and they came here in the late 60s, okay? Well before most of you were born. So I was a child of the 70s growing up in the UK. We were really poor. I didn't feel it at the time. I didn't realise that was what Paul was. My mother used to say to us at dinner time, how many chapatis will you eat? And she made that many chapatis that would feed us. And if you wanted a bit more, there wasn't more, because that's how we made ends meet. So I was very proud of what my mum was able to achieve during that time. When I look back and think, with very, very little, you gave us a lot. We were 5 children, and the age span between us was 6 years, so we kept our mother very, very busy, bless her. And, as children, we were always getting into scrapes. And one of the scrapes often ended up in the local hospital. We were born in Rusholme in Manchester, and the local hospital was on Wimslow Road, and she used to walk us up there, and usually it was all of us, because you couldn't leave any of us at home, because Dad was out working in a factory. So she'd take us to the hospital. But I'll always remember on the way home, she used to do a detour by the university to pick us up some snacks as well, from Wimmy Road, as some of you will know it. And she used to stop outside the University of Manchester. She used to say a prayer. And I used to think, what's Mum doing? She used to say, I've just prayed that my children will go to university. Really, really powerful, but stayed with me for a really, really long time. And I realised then, it's not just Martin Luther King that has dreams. Our parents had dreams for us as well. So we carried on. They embedded in us that value of education, which is amazing, because even now, generations on, we still go on to do that. And they really encouraged us around that, and often that was with a bit of a stick, I have to admit. But also other people encouraged us, our teachers at school. I remember, I was the middle child, so I got missed out on so many things. But you know what, I couldn't really read. But my brother's teacher in the same primary school was really, really interested in us as a family. And we used to go in and chat to him in the lunch breaks or the breaks. And I was trying to learn to read, and I can remember him having the patience to sit down and listen to me. And one of the things he said to me was, you just need to find books and read them. Well, we were poor, where'd you get books? So we got a library ticket. And brothers and sisters in hand, I used to go to the library. I couldn't go on my own because I was scared of stray dogs. So I'd never have got to the library, or at least home in one piece. So my brothers used to take me. And slowly, I'd go to the library, pick up these books that I like to read, take them home, read them, and I'd want to go back the next day. All with that little bit of encouragement and a bit of support. Someone listened to me, someone encouraged me, those positive words. So I learned many things, in a way by myself, but just got on with it. But those teachers were really inspirational. And the parents too. Grades were really important to my dad. Oh, I dreaded parents' evening. And as for the end of school report, blimey, if you didn't get an A or a B, you were in big trouble, because you were wasting your opportunity. And that stayed in my head for a long time. And I can remember, I don't know if we still do it in schools, but I got C for effort in most of my subjects, but I was getting A's and B's. And I used to look at the C and think, why does the teacher think I'm not making an effort? I couldn't understand that. I still can't understand that. I think because I was a bit of a chatterbox. But anyway, I started working a little bit harder, because the C didn't feel right, even though I didn't really know what they meant by not making an effort. But I carried on. And my educational journey took me to Whalley Range High School in the 1980s. Now, it wasn't the school then that it is now, with all its accolades. It was a very different environment. Children had no aspirations. The girls that I was with, they just wanted to finish at 16. But I didn't feel like that. I remembered my mother saying my children will go to university. So I just carried on with what I was doing, a bit of study, doing all right. I was bumbling along. I wasn't the best graded student, and never have been since, but you bumble along. And there were 3 things that happened along that journey that inspired me to go on. The first thing was, we had long summer holidays, and we lived in a neighbourhood with lots of kids, and lots of kids would come to the house. We couldn't afford to go on holidays, so we were entertained by going to each other's houses in those days. And I remember my mum saying to me, don't let the kids that come break anything. So what did me and my sisters do? We set up little schools, because all these younger kids, we had to keep control of them. So we'd get them doing things, adding up, subtracting, drawing pictures, naming words. We'd just get on and do. And I quite liked that. I thought, oh, I could be a school teacher, me. That's where I'm going to go. So I had my week's work experience. That opened my eyes. Those kids are so noisy. Sorry, kids, you're lovely and quiet today. But oh my goodness, that week's work experience, I came home with a sore throat and a headache. School children were not for me. So I got to the end of my O-levels. And I did all right. You know, I thought, right, I'm going for this. I'm going to be a teacher. Might go for secondary school. So I need to go to do my A-levels. So at that time I was in a school with lots of people who didn't really have aspirations, but some people stayed on to the sixth form because that's what they needed to do. And that was what we had to do then. So I thought, this isn't the place for me. I'm with people who say, oh, we just can't wait to finish. They're getting pulled out of school before they do their A-level exams. It wasn't the environment for me. And I guess I really had the common sense enough to say, this school isn't going to bring me on. So it's time to find another place to study. So very bravely in those days, remember this is 1986 by this time, I decided to venture out and look at a few colleges. Well, nobody in my family had ever been to college, let alone a girl. But I did. And I was really grateful because my parents allowed me to go to Loretto Sixth Form College. Some of you may know it, in Hume in Manchester. So it's a bit of a distance from my house. But it was a Catholic college. But they allowed in those days 5% of students to be from the non-Catholic background. And I was really, really fortunate because my school teachers gave me a good recommendation and I got a place. I was delighted. And I went there, and actually it was quite a high discipline college because it did have that ethos of running through the Catholic religion, but all religions were acceptable, so that was great environment for me. But they didn't let you truant and they didn't let you have time off. And one of the great things about that school from the day I went in, people had aspirations. They talked about, I want to be a pharmacist, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be an accountant, I want to be a dentist, I want to be a doctor. Being surrounded by people who have aspirations has a really big positive knock-on effect on us all. And then I knew I was going to go to university and go and do my teacher training. So I applied for my teacher training. I wanted to be a teacher that was inspired from when I was younger at school. So I said there was 3 things that inspired me when I was back at school. The second was my home economics teacher when I was 11 years old. She made us draw a hand on a piece of paper, draw around our hand. And in there, she told us to write the words proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and fats. Didn't know what that meant then. And she said, this is what the body is made of. And then she told us about what foods contain those different things. And she says, you know, the message here is you are what you eat. And it was as simple as that. So that was it for me. Home economics was what I was going to do, and I was going to be that home economics teacher. The cooking was nice, but the fascination of the science that underpinned nutrition was really what was exciting for me. So that's the second thing. The third thing was, when we went to Whalley Range High School in the first year, the teachers got us to write about what we wanted to do. And me being me, I wrote, when I grow up, I'm going to go to university and I'm going to become a teacher. And the teacher made us read some of those out. And she'd come to each table and pick someone, and I always used to get picked on because I was the one talking. So I got picked on and I read mine out. And she said, people like you don't go to university. And I was surprised. I thought she meant poor people don't go to university. If I reflect on it more deeply, I'm sure she meant other things. But there you go. So I was determined to go to university, and I was determined to become a home economics teacher. But then just as I got my A-levels, I was concentrating on my A-levels. I was doing biology, I did home economics, and I did chemistry. And I really struggled with chemistry. Don't know why, but I really struggled with it. And so at college, there was a teacher who was specifically there for people who struggled with their studies. And you went to her and she talked to you about how do you approach your studies. And of course, we all grew up with this rote learning where you just learned everything. You crammed it in your head and you came to an exam and you literally wrote everything you knew to the answer to the question, hoping it would get you through. but she actually taught me different methods and different ways. I mean, something really simple like keeping a time plan. When am I going to study? When am I going to have leisure time? And when am I going to just do anything I want? Yeah. What are my commitments in the household or not? And all this other stuff that she taught me, to put it all down so I knew when I was going to study and I'd have that focused time. And I could have TV time too. I was a big fan of Coro. So I wanted to watch my TV to get that balance. So she taught me that. But she also taught me about how I learned. And I realised I was a visual learner. So all that cramming of things wasn't going to work for me. I had to figure out what was going on and learn it and understand. So that's what I started to do. Anyway, long story short, I got my A-levels. But as I was thinking about my career, I then thought, where do I go now? When I got my A-level results, home economics, the government decided to take it off the curriculum. It was no longer going to be taught in school. I was on a 4-year PGCE course to do home economics, and I wasn't going to get a job at the end of it. I thought, blimey, that's tough. But I'd got an A and a B in my A-levels, good enough to get into uni, but I'd got an E in chemistry, because I've struggled with chemistry. So then I thought, what do I do now? And everyone kept saying, well, food science is like home economics, do food science. So I phoned around the universities, and the university said to me, no, you need chemistry to do food science and nutrition. You won't survive the programme without doing chemistry. So I thought long and hard about what I do. There was one place down in Surrey that offered me a place. I thought, Surrey, my mum said, oh, that's 5 hours away, my daughter can't go there. So that was the end of that. So I went back to college for 1 year, and I remember walking in, and the biology teacher said to me, what are you doing back here? You've got enough grades to go to university. Wasn't there a university that would take you? And then I told him my story, and he says, never mind, keep going. And that was really hard for me, because I went in there and I was surrounded by people in that 1 year course that failed their A-levels. But do you know what? They came back and tried. And I'm so glad I came back and tried, because not only did I get an A-level in chemistry, I got a 1 year A-level in physics as well, and I did maths, because I just filled my time. Because I wasn't just going to go to school for one subject, or to college for one subject. So that really helped me, because suddenly I had a CV with educational qualifications on it that looked really good. So then when I applied for uni, that was great. Well, interestingly, it wasn't food science that I wanted to do by then, because I changed my mind. So I went to the biochemistry and molecular biology route, thinking, oh, I could work in a lab. That would be quite good, because I liked chemistry by this point. Anyway, long story short, got the degree, went on to do a master's. After the master's in food science and nutrition, I thought, oh, I don't think I want to teach in a school anymore. I did the secondary school experience as part of my degree. No, those kids are naughty as well. I can't cope with that. But I used to look around at the university and think, wow, these lecturers are talking and all these students are really quiet. That's the thing I want to do. So then to go to work in a university, you needed to do a PhD. Okay. So luckily, I managed to get on to do a PhD. In fact, I got 2 offers for PhDs. And I'll tell you this because sometimes people think, you know, you've got to go to certain institutions to do well in life. I got an offer from Cambridge to work in the Dunn Nutrition Centre, looking at developing models of nutrition in rats. And then I got another PhD looking at genetically modified foods for food production, particularly in developing countries, and I thought that's the one for me, and that was at the University of Bradford. So I went to Bradford and everyone said, you didn't go to Cambridge when you came to Bradford? Because it's really important you love what you do. So I chose what I wanted to do based on that love. And then after that, it was quite plain sailing. I got into university. Now remember, when I was at university, you didn't have to stand up and give presentations. So the first time I presented anything was when I went for my first job interview. Luckily, I winged it. I didn't really know what I was doing, but somehow I winged it, and I got a job at a university to teach. And that was it, the journey started. So I used that experience to build my confidence, to try and strengthen the things that were always a worry for me, like public speaking, because obviously when you teach, you've got to speak in public, haven't you? You've got no choice. And then doing lots of other little things along the way. But I learned a lot in those years. I learned that if I didn't prepare well, I'd get anxious, I'd sweat, I'd need the toilet every 10 minutes. So actually that taught me a lot about preparing myself, getting ready for where I was going and knowing what I was going to do when I got there. And that helped because underneath there isn't that much self-confidence, but I was trying to continuously believe in myself. I also learned a lot about management and leadership along the way. I don't know, right place, right time. I suddenly became from a lecturer to a senior lecturer to a deputy head of department and then a head of department of the largest department in the University of Chester. And I joined Chester when it was a university college and it became a university in the time that I was there. But I followed it, I followed my path. It wasn't where I thought I was going to go when I started off, but the journey's been great. It's just opened doors. But it has been difficult sometimes. I was head of department for nearly 10 years. It was challenging. But you know what? One day I woke up and I was anxious. On my head, I couldn't think straight. And I'd realised I'd got burnt out. Because actually when you lead a department or lead a school, 80% of your time is spent on 20% of people solving problems. And I was solving problems, but my passion of nutrition and my passion of teaching were really going far away from where I wanted to be. So I took a break for a short while and I spoke to my Vice-Chancellor, the head of the university, and I said, I do want to stay at Chester, but I don't like the job I'm doing. What else have you got for me? And he was brilliant. What a supportive Vice-Chancellor. He said, we don't want to lose you. Yeah? Let's find something for you. So I moved faculties, I started training health professionals, and within 3 years of being in that faculty, I was awarded my professorial chair in public health and nutrition. And I did that through the research that I was involved in. So I turned my teaching and my subject interest into my research interest and followed that as my passion. And let me just say to you about being a professor. In Asian terms, a professor is equated to a teacher, okay? But that's not how it works in the UK. A professor only gets a professoriate when you work really hard and become specialist in a particular subject area. But that's not the thing that I want to talk about. I want to say that actually, finally, I was part of what is called the 1% Club. In the UK, only 1% of Black and Asian minority ethnic people are professors in universities. So I was proud of that and proud of being that 1%. And I realised that actually that was where I needed to be because since then I've done other things. I've become Associate Dean for Research and Innovation. I've been able to now help others to come through to be the next professors, to be the PhD students that complete and walk across the stage and get their graduations. And I meet all these parents whose children have graduated for the first time. And I'm really delighted because Chester's changed and grown since the time I've been there. And this year we started a new medical programme. So we're now in the Faculty of Health, Medicine and Society. So I've gone from teaching nutrition to teaching medics how to read evidence and do research that informs what they do with patients. And in this area of Oldham, where I've been to visit many times, we've started a new project which we've had external funding for, looking at the diet and health of ethnic minority groups, and in particular South Asians, looking at what we eat and the impact that has on our health in the long term, and thinking about things we can do with communities to change behaviour. And that in its own right has opened doors. As Tasneem said, I've been all over the world with what I do. There's hardly a week goes by before somebody says to me, could you come to Africa and do this presentation? Would you like to come to Bangladesh and go on tour with us and do a presentation? And it's lovely. It's really lovely because you get to talk about the work that you do and how that might influence people in their lives. And like our speaker Humera said, it is really important to give back. So my absolute joy was last year when I went to Pakistan and I taught nurses around leadership and different aspects of nursing profession to empower nurses in Pakistan to do more around patient care. And that was absolutely the pinnacle for me. Okay. So it's always lovely to do those things, but I think what I would say, reflecting on that, so I came today and Buzz asked me to attend, and he normally asks me to host, which is dead easy. You rock up, they give you a script and you just do it. But he said to me, no, I want you to true Muzahid fashion, he says, no, I want you to give a talk, a motivational talk, and tell people about your journey. And I was like, oh God, I'm sweating. I was trying to prepare. I was writing it down, looked at it occasionally. And I thought, because we all have this imposter syndrome, even though sometimes we've arrived, we just think we're not good enough. And I don't know why that is. And I have to keep reminding myself, well, you have done this and you have done that. And this was nice, actually, reflecting on what I did and how I might have got there and what I might have done differently. I don't think I would have done anything differently. I go with the ups and I go with the downs, because you know what they say, what doesn't break you makes you. And in Islam we say, Allah only gives us that much we can bear. And in times when things have been tough, the people in my life have said those things to me, okay? And I've stuck to my faith, and those people have been really inspirational. And as Taslim said, or alluded to, it takes a village to raise a child, and I believe I'm the child of that village back in Pakistan, and all that community that were around us, encouraging our mother to let us be educated, supporting us along the way, was part of that journey. So Mus said to you, do this. So I said, okay, I'm going to be brave. I'm going to go into the unknown. I'm going to try to do this. And then when it's over, I'm going to shake myself down, reflect on what I could have done differently, maybe a bit of time management. And then, you know what? If I feel like it, I'll try it again. Because I'm not scared of failure. Because failure makes you grow. And as long as you learn from that, you do grow. But that support along the way is important. So, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition and be guided by your head. They somehow know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. And as I said, it takes a village to raise a child. So work with your parents, your carers, your teachers, and your tutors, okay? And I ask you to, in return, work back with our children, our future generation. Inspire them to grow and be what they're destined to be, inshallah. Thank you so much.
I think that deserves another round of applause because it was just absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much. So this is the first time I've heard Basma speak, and absolutely amazing journey. Thank you so much for that. I'm sorry I had to kind of rush you a little bit. We are running a little bit behind schedule. But just a few things, she mentioned, I'm sure will resonate with a lot of you, but especially for me, the thing that you mentioned about, your teacher who sat down with you and made a kind of timetable. I know growing up, my dad was very big on that, having a timetable, you have time to eat, you have time to sleep, you have time to study. So it's just something, little nuggets that students can take away, families can take away. I think, from your speech, that's really worked for me, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, it really resonated. And the village, I'm a really big fan of that phrase, and I just think now that I've got children myself, it's hard, and it definitely needs a village, so do not be scared of asking for help. And as Sarah said just before, her thing was like learning to ask for help. So that's why we exist. It's not just us, everyone else around you, so please take that on board. So I don't want to delay anymore, we are a little bit behind, but we have the main event. The reason why we're really here is to celebrate the students amongst us who've been recommended by their teachers for overall excellent achievements, turning up, trying their best day after day, week after week, and we want to recognise that. So each of you will be called up on stage. If I could ask, when you are called, I'll be calling you in groups of 10. If we could clap for the 10 students at the end of that group, so rather than clapping every single student, if we do a big clap after 10 students and do the same until the end, just to keep things moving. Come on stage, collect your award, shake the hands of the presenters, and then go back to your seat. To present the awards, if I could please ask Dr. Eamon O'Neill, the High Sheriff of Greater Manchester. He will be doing a special address at the end, but for the purpose of the awards, if I could just get a round of applause, please, to invite him on stage. We also have the Deputy Mayor of Oldham, Eddie Moores. Again, if you don't mind, Eddie, if you could please come on stage to help present some of our awards, that would be absolutely fantastic. And not to miss out, Kath, our beautiful Deputy Mayoress, looking great. If you could come onto the stage as well, please. So we're very lucky to have all these people here, and I don't want to miss out the main man, Mr. Arif Mohid, as well. If you could come on stage to meet your students and congratulate them. That would be great. So, you might get a bit of, a few handshakes, guys, but get your hands ready, get your legs ready. Let's try and do this as efficiently as possible. I will be reading out the names, and you'll get your certificate and a little goodie bag, and if you could just take that and get back to your seat. And again, congratulations for me, congratulations from everyone, and keep up the hard work, and I really hope you guys take something away from today's event. So guys, if you could come up to that side on my left, shake the hands of the guests, collect your certificate and a bag. So the first 10 students, we have Abdul Raza, Leo Javeri, Hadi Hussain, Ali Khan, Abdullah Ismail Mia, Mustafa Balde, Ansab Nasir, Everly IP, Ramadan Ahmed. If you guys could come on the stage, don't be shy. Thank you, Everly. You look beautiful in your dress. Well done.
Take a picture. Hey, Ramadan. Look at the camera here. Keep clapping, yeah, keep clapping.
Okay.
And Ramadan. Have you got one again? Okay, we're going to take shake hands. Give him a clap. Let's give him a clap, guys.
Well done, Ramadan.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so the next students, if you guys are in the audience, I'm not sure where all the others were. Either they're being shy or they've not attended, although they're definitely on the list. So we have Fawaz Chowdhury, Zaim Alam, Tasnia Azad, Mohammed Ismail Haroon, Gabriella Tiga, Ayan Umar, Tanisha Chowdhury, Alicia Tasnim, and Jitson Jose. If you guys come up to the stage.
We'll get there, guys. The first time we're doing this, so. And Tasmia. Sorry, on Tasmia. I am. And Tasmia.
I think what we'll do, just to make it simpler, because we've got quite a lot of certificates here, if you collect your bag and if your certificate is wrong, we'll definitely come and find us and we'll get the correct one, just because I think we've got quite a lot of students here and it's getting mixed up.
Les, are you okay to take the picture?
Yeah, trying to turn this way.
Okay, guys, just look up.
So while Les is taking the picture, if we could just do a round of applause and then we can get the students back in their seats. So next on stage, you guys can start coming up as soon as you hear your name, just to speed things up a little bit. We have Awab Tagaw, Jazia Al-Sharafi, Annalise Emmanuel, Imtiaz Hussain, Ibrahim Hussain, Abu Bakr Ali, Samaya Iqbal, Isa Iqbal, Ayan Sheikh, Hannah Chowdhury, Annabelle and Annalisa Sibanda, and Tahseen Chowdhury. Come on, girls.
Samaya, Isa, well done from years ago. Ayan, Sheikh, Hannah, no, sorry. What did you say? Annabelle?
Annabelle and Annalisa.
Annabelle, where are you headed on? And Annalisa? There we go, Annalisa. We've got. Now guys, are we gonna, is this okay? Can we get them all in? Or, it's a big bunch. We'll take more pictures later over there.
Yeah, we got. Yeah.
Are you sure
As
don't
long as
fall
we
off?
don't take too many steps backwards, yeah. Got your everybody. Okay, let me check. Yeah.
Right, go on, guys. Okay. And I think this is the last batch of 10. We have Amana Arif Mohid, Raida Rahman, Syed Ahmed, Azan Baz, Tommy Osindero, Sharon Osindero, Joanna Osindero, Faith Eva Osinowo, Abdul Rahim Yusuf, and Ahian Muad Jewel.
Did I give those bags? Could just give those, give the bags a second. Just tell them. Ryder? Saeed Ahmed? Azan? Tommy? Sharon? Sharon, do you can take this forward? Faith Eva? Faith Eva, where have you come from? Where do you live? Kent? Give Faith Eva a special mention all the way from Kent.
A special mention to Faith Eva because they've travelled all the way from Kent to collect their award, so that is commitment. Well done, guys.
Let's take a picture.
Jacket. And again. Okay. Okay.
The second batch of students still got bags.
We do have goodie bags for you guys. I think we might have missed a batch of students out. If you don't have a bag or your certificate's wrong, please come and find us at the end because we really want you to have them, okay? Okay, it's just the teachers now. And as we mentioned, it's not just the students, it's our dedicated staff. We also want to take this opportunity to thank them. I'll be calling your names out. Please do not be shy. I can see all of you. I know all of your faces. So I will know if you're not coming up on stage. Please come up. Please collect a little token of our appreciation for all that you do for Aim High. And take a picture, pose, smile. And Michael especially, we need to see your great smile. So first on stage we have Michael Small, Anisa Rahman,
Anissa, we'll just read it. Yeah, there's not as many.
There's one on the end there. Okay, 3. Gotcha. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
So Michael's one of our long-standing English teachers. Is like the happiest guy I know, honestly.
Sorry, I didn't read. Okay. Check. Okay.
So Anisa was, I'm sure she got a mention when when Arif was doing his speech. She's one of our maths teachers, and she was involved in kind of training a lot of the teachers in Bangladesh online at different hours, coordinating the time zone differences, and she's amazing. So thanks, Anisa. Next we have Stuart Aisbit. Stuart on the stage, please. It's one of our great English teachers as well. Thank you, Stuart. Bromance moment there. Oh, you all have certificates and we've forgotten them as well, guys, so please collect them. Yeah. Next on stage we'll have Akil Mohammed. He's running the maths department at the moment and doing a great job. He's here with his family today, so I'm sure they're all happy to see him on stage.
Are we getting the guests in?
Yeah. Yep, we got it. And again. Just check. Cool.
Right, hi Sheriff, Deputy Mayor and Mayoress, you're doing a great job. I know it's hard to stand there, but thank you. Oh, and the smiling as well, yeah. So can we please have Suzanne Preston on stage? Suzanne has worked in the maths department a while ago. She's now returning to our maths department again. So she's kind of a true member of the Aim High family, so we have to acknowledge her. Suzanne's daughter's birthday party, or was it a christening? It was the first children's party we went to after Amana was born. So yeah, we've known Suzanne a long time.
Come on, Les.
Oh, somebody there. Okay, somebody there.
I cracked the screen.
1, 2, 3, and again. Okay. Yep,
Thank you. Next, can we have Jade Payne on stage, please? As I said, if we've forgotten a certificate or a prize or anything, we'll come and find you because we will know, because we'll have it left over. So Jade is one of our primary school teachers. The kids love her. She's great, and she does a lot of online lessons as well. So if we could just give her a round of applause.
okay.
Next, can we have our long-standing science teacher, who all the kids love? We get recommendations and requests for his classes. And he can't ever leave Aim High, basically. Mohammed Shabazz on stage, please.
Okay.
And the next on stage, can we have Nabila Rahman? So Nabila is actually Anissa's sister, and they're both teachers. Nabila has recently left, but she was amazing when she was here. We're hoping she'll join the team again, but we like to recognise all our teachers, so especially if they've had a big impact on the kids. So that's why we've asked Nabila to come on stage to receive her award.
And again. Okay.
There's quite a few of our teachers who actually haven't been able to make it. We also have obviously the admin team who not everyone has been able to make it. So if they're watching the video back, we want to make sure we haven't forgotten them. So thank you to all of you guys and all that you do. We have your prizes and awards and we'll be giving them to you. The last person who actually is here, she is for me personally, I think we need to give her like a double round of applause. She does everything. She started off doing some tutoring, then she's kind of transitioned to the admin team. She's basically Arif's PA / person to go to, and I don't want to listen to what he wants to say. She manages everything a lot. She's looked after the whole team in general, and currently kind of manages quite a lot. She now has her own team that she's looking after, Tom and Arifa, who are kind of taking the lead on that now. So Ikra hopefully might get a bit of a break, but I don't know, we still need loads from her. So really the person who's really gelled Aim High together in recent years. On stage, please, a big round of applause for Ikra Iltaf. And she's trying to hide and she's been dragged up on stage, but I'm sorry, you have to come up. She's also baked a beautiful cake. If you haven't seen it, it's at the back. She's a baker in her spare time, and her cakes were amazing, so please enjoy a slice if you can.
Just tell the students that haven't received their badge.
If there's any of the students or the teachers have not received a certificate or a bag, then you need to make sure you come and claim it, because definitely you need one. So thank you very much to our High Sheriff, Deputy Mayor and Mayoress. If I could please ask the Deputy Mayor just to say a very short few words, just because he's graced us with his presence, and we wouldn't want to leave him out, and we're really grateful you're here. So before you take your seat, Eddie, if you could just please say a few words, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really pleased to join you tonight, and I'm sure Kath, my wife, is as well. It's a great event. It's really great to see the success of young people. I'm involved with a number of schools in Oldham, and I always enjoy going to these sorts of events. They're great, and you should all celebrate your success, and you should all thank your parents, guardians, friends who've supported you on this journey. Thank you.
We are a little bit behind schedule, so I'm going to try and keep on track. We've got a couple more things. So we've done the awards presentation.
Okay, guys, I'm going to disrupt it a little bit because I'm a teacher and we all like testing you. So here we go. I know it's been quite a long time for you youngsters, but I've got some questions here, and whoever answers it gets a prize. Okay? So the first question is going to go to the person, or to, in fact, if your door number is in between 30 and 200, keep your hands up. Yeah? Keep your hands up if that's the case. Right, you guys are going to answer. Okay? The first person, okay, you can put your hand down now. So the first person to answer this, by putting the hands up, will get the chocolate. Water boils at 100 degrees on which scale? Water boils at 100 degrees on which scale? Do I want to give you a clue? A, is it Celsius? B, Fahrenheit? C, Kelvin? Or D, Rankine? Hands up if you know. Oh, Jitson. Oh, okay, Jitson. Celsius, well done. Give the man a chocolate. Well done. Okay, we'll do a couple more. If your hair, when out, touches your shoulder, this question is for you. So if you've got hair that touches your shoulder, then, sorry Michael, sorry Ashraf, sorry Mr. Khan, sorry a lot of people, sorry Sensei. Okay, here we go. This is a tricky one. Photosynthesis primarily takes place in which part of a plant? Ooh, jazzier, straight up. Off you go. The chloroplast, oh, you've gone, let me give you some options. You've gone way ahead of me, I didn't think of that. So is it A, roots, B, stems, C, leaves, or D, flowers? Leaves, well done, excellent, good. Baz, you've done a good job. Next one. I'll do. Should we do one more? Yeah, one more. Okay, who wants a prize? Okay. Right. This is easy. This can go to anybody who has a cat as a pet. Who has a cat as a pet? Yeah. Or a dog. Who has a dog? Cat or a dog? Yeah, we'll do cat or a dog. Are you ready? What is the largest planet in our solar system? Is it A, Earth, B, Mars, C, Jupiter, or D, Saturn? Okay, you got quite a few. Azan, your hand went up first. What is it? Shout out. Jupiter, is that the correct answer? Is that the correct answer? It is the correct answer. Well done. It is the biggest planet in the solar system. Azan at the back, or in fact, can you come down and get your chocolate? Okay, we'll do maybe one more. I'm going to make it hard. Let me see you. Who can I pick on? Ramadan, where are you? Okay. No, this is too hard. No, okay, let's go. Which element is said to keep bones strong? Which element is said to keep bones strong? Is it A, iron, B, oxygen, C, calcium, or D, hydrogen? Okay, I don't know. How do I do? There's so many. Okay, the way I'm gonna decide this is this. If you've got a black or a white or a black and white top, you can answer. Leave your hands up. Black. Oh, there we go. What's the answer? What is it? Fish fingers? Calcium. Wow, how old are you? 8, calcium. That's a very good answer, and that's a very high level answer. Well done, calcium. Let's give it to Faith Eva. Well done. Okay. Do you want one more? No, yes or no? Should we do adults only? Oh, no, okay. Here we go. Oh, this is good. This is only adults, okay? It doesn't matter what shoe size or door number you are. Which country is known as the land of the rising sun? Japan. Since if you don't get this, okay. Which country is known as the land of the rising sun? And no shouting out. Did someone shout out? Oh, what do I choose? What do I choose? Let's go with Jazia's mom. Japan. Well done, Japan. That's correct. Okay, thanks. If we get time, guys, I've got a few more. Maybe we'll have a few more questions. If you like that, we can do that. Okay, thank you.
Kashif, I know you're desperate, so I'll give you this at the end. So that was a bit of fun. But as I said, we're running behind, guys, so we need to move on. Just a short little bit. It's called Launch of the AIM 1 Million Project. I'm going to give these guys 5 minutes because then we need to move on. Mr. Muzahid Khan DL, could you please come on stage? He doesn't need an introduction, but everybody knows him. Just in case you've been under a stone, or maybe maybe if you're coming from all the way from Kent, you may not know him. He's basically a huge community leader within Oldham, has lots of different roles, and recently has been doing the role of the deputy lieutenant, and he's kind of a networker. If you need anything, you go to Mr. Khan, basically. And he was going to be launching an exciting new project with Arif Mohid, so if you could come back on stage as well. And I'm just going to give you guys 5 minutes to explain what this is, just so all our audience knows, and then we need to move on. Okay, guys?
Hi, Sheriff of Greater Manchester, Deputy Mayor, Deputy Mayoress, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, the amazing children and young people here this evening. For me, it's an absolute pleasure to support the development of AIM High, Arif, and they go together. I first came across Arif in 2014 on a bicycle adventure in Bangladesh, and I found a lot about him, and then he said to me, how can I grow AIM High? And we met on my wedding anniversary day to discuss plans for growing AIM High in 2014, and I suggested to Arif that whilst he has couple of sites where children attend physically, that he needs to also add an online element so that he can reach children all over the United Kingdom, but perhaps also all over the world. And he struggled with the idea for a few years, but come COVID, he transformed and took Aim High to another level, as he explained. The reason why I'm telling you this story is because it's pertinent to launching Aim 1 million. And then very recently, we were having conversations, and he was saying, I'm getting, I feel like I need to do something more exciting. And I suggested to him to go and climb Mount Everest, like one of our youngsters who's climbed Mount Everest recently. And he said, well, that's going to take a long time to, climb, and, can I do it? I said, well, in that case, let's translate that, turn it on its head. Let's do something the equivalent of climbing Mount Everest. And that is, take education or inspiration or motivation to 1 million young people all over the United Kingdom first, and then take it around the world. The world is waiting for inspirational individuals to give something that then transforms the lives of others, and that's what you're about. What is your purpose? And he went home and thought about it, and he said, yes, Mr. Khan, let's go after this. So here we are, about to launch Aim 1 million, which is to inspire and motivate 1 million young people and adults to go after that one burning goal that's been eluding them, whether it's self-fear, whether it's self-sabotage, whether it's support from teachers, parents, or other individuals. There's something that's burning inside each one of us that wants to come out into the world and make the lives of other people better. So, about 6 years ago, I made a goal that I wanted to write a book when I'm a little bit older. Then we had COVID. I wrote a book. I achieved my goals 10 years ahead of time. Now I'm saying to myself, I have another burning goal, that I want to travel to every country in the world, and I want to take a 20-minute talk about how a child from a village in Bangladesh came here with his parents with no English and has been able to transform himself. And it's a similar story from many of you, other than perhaps the children who were born here. That given an opportunity, given a chance, given the support from teachers, parents, and others, you can be something special in the world, and your specialness can be sprinkled over our society to make it better. And where do you start? You start in your home, in your neighborhood, in your town, and in your nation. And we, as British people, with the education and the background and the support mechanisms that we have in place, we should be at the top of setting our own goals and not only impacting our society, but also impacting the whole of the world. So tonight, Arif is going to set you a task. And tonight we are launching Aim 1 million to transform, inspire, and motivate so that we can go and make a difference to the lives of people. Arif, what's the goal?
Okay, thank you so much for introducing that. So here's the goal. Now, with Aim 1 million, it needs to be something achievable. So, as Mr. Khan kind of told you, we want to reach 1 million people. We want to reach them not just through education, but we want to allow them to kind of overcome an obstacle and then go on to do amazing things. So let me tell you, sometimes for me, let's say for this event, one of the biggest obstacles was to make a start. And that start was literally going to a venue and speaking to somebody. And as soon as I did that, everything just had a domino effect and it made a huge change. And here we are today. So it's usually the thing that stops us, whether you're a student, whether you're a parent, whether you're a grown-up, whoever you are, no matter which field you're from, the only thing that stops you is that one tiny thing that we keep putting off. So here's what we're going to do, and you're all going to do this. Has everybody got a mobile phone? Or has every adult's got one at least? Yeah? So I want you to set yourself a goal today. And it's going to be a simple goal. It doesn't have to be crazy, a small something that you've been putting off, that if you make that change today, something will happen. So I'm going to give you an example of something that I've been putting off for a long time. I've been meaning to do a parent webinar, where I can tell parents about our methodology, etc. But I keep putting it off, and it's been over a year. But I'm gonna commit today, and I'm gonna make sure next week I'm gonna deliver an online webinar to a lot of parents that are not current parents of Aim High, just so that they know a little bit about us. So that's my little thing. So what I want you to do, if you go to the next slide. Tasneem, go to the next slide, please. So what I want you to do is, I want you to make a small goal, no matter how small it is, but it needs to be something that you're going to do within the next few days that's going to make a change. Okay? So if you can scan that QR code, it's got two sections to it. All you do is get your phone and then scan that. Two sections. One section is just some feedback about today's event. Okay? So because we've come to the end of it. Feedback about today's event, and in the second bit is you're going to set yourself that one big thing that you're going to do that's going to make a change in your life and help you inspire, help you achieve whatever goal it is that you're after. It doesn't have to be education related. It could be anything. Okay? So think about it. Give yourself a few seconds to think about it. Scan that QR code. Yes, you got to scan the QR code. Take not a picture, go on your camera, and it should detect a link. When you click that link, when you see the link, click the link, and you're going to spend about 5 minutes. I'm going to give you 5 minutes of quiet time, or I might put some background music on. Okay, 5 minutes, you're going to set yourself a goal. But before you do that, you're going to give us some feedback about today's event, okay? And then set yourself a goal. And I'd be interested to know what your goals are. I'll find out anyway, because I'm going to look through them all. And if you're not taking part, I'll find you. Suzanne, I'll come and find you. Scan the code. I'm a teacher, remember? I have eyes in the back of my head. Come on, Jetson, you should have big goals now. You're going to college next year. You're a big boy. What goals are you going to get? How are you going to get those goals? Yeah? Let's go. Come on, Jazia, you should have top goals. When I speak to Mr. Small about you, man, you're an amazing student. Well, girl, you're an amazing student. You should be having a goal for next year as you hit Key Stage 4 as to what you're going to do. Let's go. Come on, Mom, Sophia's mom. What are you doing? Get him in. Where's Dad? Get him in. Adina, make sure you've set yourself a goal. We've got Tasnia, goal setting, please. Imtiaz, Ibrahim, you've not surprised us, we were expecting that, Ibrahim, from you. You got some top GCSE grades. What are you going to do with that? How are you going to start your next, first year in college? Are you going to start it with finding a good group of friends so that you can work with them and aim even higher? Or what? What are you going to do? Commit yourself to this. Is the link working, by the way? Ayan, is the link working? Yeah? Come on then, get onto it. Right, okay. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. Set yourself. We need those feedback forms in, guys. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. And then we're literally nearly finished. We've got another couple of minutes left after this. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes on this. Let's go.
Thanks, Arif. And thank you all for taking part. I'm sure this is going to be an amazing initiative, and you can all support Arif to make it a reality. I'm going to introduce our special guest, but I wanted to read out a statement first. Dr. Ayman O'Neill, DL, who is currently the High Sheriff of Greater Manchester, has had a distinguished career in the media, public service and philanthropy. Dr. O'Neill has held various leadership roles, including Chief Executive of St. Anne's Hospice. As High Sheriff, he does play a very vital role in supporting the judiciary, the law enforcement and local community initiatives, demonstrating a deep commitment to public service, community welfare throughout Greater Manchester. And I'm personally delighted that our High Sheriff has taken the time out this evening to be here with us, and I'm sure it'll be an amazing, inspirational few minutes from our chief guest. Thank you, Doctor. Please, round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Khan, Deputy Mayor, Deputy Mayoress. I'm not sure about whether it's going to be inspirational or not. There's a disadvantage to being the final speaker, which is that everyone before you has said everything that you were going to say. There's also an advantage to being the final speaker, and that is that everyone before you has said everything you were going to say. So you can stand up for just for a couple of minutes and then let everybody get on the way. But essentially, that is true because you've heard from the professor, you've heard from Arif himself, and you heard from Sarah earlier on. And everything they said, I agree with wholeheartedly and 100%. Young people who are with us today are on a journey. And it's a journey that is personal to you. It's not a race and it's not a competition. You don't have to be better than anybody else. You just have to be the best person you can be. And you constantly ask when you're little, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some of you might already know the answer to that, and some of you might not. And it doesn't matter if you don't know the answer, because as has already been said today, as you go through this journey, opportunities will arise, and you can choose to take them or not. A door will open, and you might want to have a peek through it and close it again, or you might want to see what's behind it and go through and take the chance. When I was little, when I was asked what I wanted to be when I grew up, I never said High Sheriff. I never said Chief Executive of a hospice. I never said a television executive. I never said a radio presenter. All the things I've done in my life were not on my radar at all. And I come from a family of teachers. I started my career as a primary school teacher in Stockport. My dad was the head of comprehensive school in Wythenshawe, and my mum was a reception teacher also in Wythenshawe. And I've met people over the last month, one of whom I taught when he was 10, and again referencing children who can be noisy and naughty, he was the noisiest and the naughtiest, and now he's an eminent brain surgeon, as it turns out. Another child of the age, who's now quite old, became a writer of novels and television series because she remembers sitting at the feet of my mother when she, the student, was in reception class and listening to the stories that were being told by my mum. And I met a guy who is a well-known actor now, who always remembers my dad as, not because of anything he taught, but because he stood at the front of the school at the gates in the morning and in the evening and said good morning and good evening to every child as they arrived. And that was remembered. So as you go through this life, whether you're a parent, a teacher, or a young person, you've just got to remember that you've just got to do what you can do. Aim high, obviously. Aim for the next level. Always believe in yourself, but see it as a journey that can take you in any direction. As High Sheriff, I've got a motto, and it's 2 words, and they're in Latin actually on the formal thing, but the 2 words are kindness and friendship. And as you go through that journey, whatever your achievements in academia, however many exams you pass, however many universities you apply to, 2 things are the most important thing. Be kind. Just be kind to people. That is the fundamental requirement of a close and successful society. Just be kind to your friends. Be kind to your schoolmates. Be kind to your family. And the other one is, be a friend to someone. If you see someone who needs a friend, you be that friend. So if you can be kind and you can be a friend, and you take the journey as an exciting journey and open your mind to all the opportunities, you'll have a fantastic time. Congratulations on all your achievements. Thank you for inviting me here this evening. Safe home.
Thank you very much for that, High Sheriff. So as per our itinerary, we are at the end. We are a little bit, over time, but there's still some time for us to have some light refreshments and network and hopefully catch up with each other, which would be great if you guys could make the effort to stay till the end. Just before we finish off, just for our speakers, we just have a little token of appreciation, which Arif is just going to just hand out to you guys. Just thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come. And for all of you guys in the audience who've come from all over the country, and someone's come from Paris today as well, absolutely amazing. Thank you. All we can say is thanks for making the effort. And spread what you've learned today, what you've heard today. Please continue to support Aim High. And follow us on this journey, and we hope that there'll be more like this. That's the kind of dream, hopefully, and in the future make it bigger and better. That's really all I have. Hopefully I want to catch up with all of you guys. If you come and say hi to me at the end, that'll be great, because I've not managed to speak to everybody. And safe journey to wherever you guys are going. So after I've handed out the little gifts, he might just finish off by saying a few words, and that's it. So just a little gift, please, for Professor Basma Elahi. If you could just come and grab them. She's laughing because, it's the healthy option for a nutritionist, chocolates and fizzy bubbly drink. Gift for our Deputy Mayor for attending today. And a gift for our High Sheriff, please, if you could just make the effort to come back on the stage. Okay. And our ex-student, Sarah Nazir, for that amazing speech, if you could just come up on stage. Okay. Right. So if there's any final words from our CEO and founder of Aim High, I'll let him take the stage. But other than that, thank you so much, guys. I hope it's been okay. I've tried my best to keep to time, but we're a little bit overrun. But thanks for being so patient. Thanks for being a great audience.
So thank you very much. And please, let's give a huge round of applause for Taslima, who has been hosting you all. Yeah, and she's done a fantastic job of it, so thank you very much. On a quick closing remark, all I want to say is thank you to everybody here. Without you, this wouldn't have happened. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I really hope everybody here, not just the students, does aim high. Yeah, no matter with whatever aspirations you've got, go ahead and get it. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for next week. Start it today, because you can, and you can. If you don't start, you'll never know. But anyway, enough of me waffling. We've kindly prepared you some light refreshments. Thanks to my mum, Rahila Mohid. In fact, can you stand up, mum? She's a bit shy, but she's been working very hard. Literally, she was at work this morning till afternoon, but she woke up at 4 a.m. and started making those lovely snacks for you. So please enjoy the samosas, spring rolls. There are two vegetarian options, and the triangle samosas, they're meat options. But please do help yourselves. And lastly, I'd also like to thank the volunteers at the back. My auntie Raha, Mahbub from who's always there when you need him. We've got all the people that have been there. Ikra, Mustaq Bhai, the Fat Twins, who I'm not sure if they're there. Yes, they are called the Fat Twins. They're literally two Fat Twins, and I taught them. That's their brand name. But they've helped with the tea and coffee. And if I missed anybody out, guys, my apologies. But thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Please stick around. Take as many pictures as you can. Talk to us. Ask us questions. But most importantly, enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.